All right, gentlemen, take your seats. Let's get this over before lunch. Floyd Rose of the Homicide Squad has decided to take early retirement. We will all miss Floyd and the steely edge he brought to his police work. The department has arranged a wee drink at the Galway Arms to quench the mighty thirst a man gets from 25 years of police work. Floyd's departure leaves a place at the top table, and the chief has seen fit to promote Cole Phelps from burglary to the homicide desk. Stand up, Phelps. Take a chair. You're in the major leagues now, Sonny. Rusty Galloway, a fine lawman of the old school, will be taking you under his wing. Your first case is the murder of a woman, found last night and bearing all the signs of the werewolf. Get out to the scene, lads.
Do you have the address?
It's been all over KGPL. It's off Temple Street, between Belmont and Glendale. I'd rather you took the wheel.
Any central unit,
What happened to Rose?
Parker wants the chief's job. Word is it's either going to be him or Thad Goon. So they're both clearing the decks.
So where does that leave you, Galloway?
Leaves me saddled with a chump like you, Phelps. I didn't ask for you, and I don't want you, so keep it to yourself. See if you can learn something about seeing how a real cop operates.
What did he mean by the werewolf?
The Dahlia. The Daily News came out calling him the werewolf killer. The Examiner came up with the Black Dahlia.
We any closer to catching him?
Not a chance. 6 months and hundreds of guys running down leads, and we got nothing.
You don't think this has anything to do with it?
No, I don't. 90% of murders are domestic, Phelps. Some guy gets into a beef with his wife, he takes it too far. This will be the same. But cutting someone in half and leaving them off the sidewalk, that's a one-off.
Why so many women this year?
Because of the war. You should know that. Guy gets to kill people every day in combat. Comes home, he's expected to take lip from his wife. What do you think's going to happen?
It's that simple.
Like I said, most of the time it is.
11 field 49, did you receive 11 field 49?
Crime scene is just up a dirt road, Detective.
How about a scoop for the Examiner, Galloway? You could use some good press.
Another tramp, another message. Is the werewolf back in business, boys?
Do you have a mother, asshole? A sister? How about showing some respect for this poor woman? Let us do our job, and Detective Galloway will give you a statement later.
He's good, Rusty. He even sounds genuine.
That's Phelps, guys. The war hero. Defending the honor of murdered humps.
Get used to it, Phelps. Moving along, guys. You got your pictures, you got your headlines. Now scram.
Patrolman, this your beat?
Yes, sir. Well, part of it. Kids park here, they use it like a lover's lane. It's a working neighborhood. Some trouble, but nothing like this. It's known locally as the Moors.
You were first on the scene?
Yes, Detective.
No one's disturbed the body?
No, sir. We cleared out them vulture reporters so Pinker and the coroner could work. They're waiting to talk to you.
Go house to house and see what you come up with. Carruthers.
Phelps, you make homicide?
Looks like it. Galloway has been making me feel welcome.
I bet he has.
Has the scene been secured?
Patrolman Houlihan saw to it. The victim's personal effects are still where they fell.
Cause of death?
Could be the head injuries. She has been badly stomped. The cuts look superficial. I'll know for sure in an hour.
What caused the blunt force injury to the face?
Could be anything from a baseball bat to a lug wrench. I'll have more details after the autopsy.
Interesting. What about this wound on the finger?
Something removed, a ring most likely. I assume it was taken post-mortem.
What does the writing on the victim mean?
BD, like Dahlia, Tex. Your guess is as good as mine. Could be something to it, or it could be the killer's trying to throw you off the scent. Either way, I'll run tests on the lipstick.
Any idea of the time of death?
From the temperature, I'd say after midnight. I'll confirm with you later.
Let's go over to evidence marker B.
The victim's bag? Looks brand new. Can't be the one used on the body.
They left her purse here, and they also left a hairbrush. Why would a killer leave a hairbrush at the scene of the crime? Looking back at the body, the victim's hair is almost pristine, tamed compared to the bruising and swelling on her face. Let's head over to evidence marker A.
Looks like some kind of puzzle or parlor game. Bomba Club. Why steal a table lighter?
The Bomba Club, 626 North Spring Street, downtown LA. Why would a killer leave a trinket? Especially a trinket that can easily be traced back to its source. We head over to the last evidence marker.
What can you tell me about the shoe prints?
Men's size 8s. Pinker lifted impressions for me to compare back at the lab.
When we get to the Bomba, a man could die of thirst on a case like this.
Let's take a look at the crime scene altogether. We have tire marks leading to where the car stopped. And we see the footprints coming from the driver's side and walking over to the passenger side. And the blood spatter doesn't start until it's a few feet away from the car. The beating wasn't quick. We see from the multiple footprints surrounding the area, the killer wasn't in a rush. They were taking their time. Surveying the scene, once they were done, they dragged her body to where her body laid now. Either they continued the assault before they stripped her, or they got her into the position that they wanted, and then they stripped her. And again, look at the footprints near the body. They weren't in a rush. They took their time to write on the victim, and they took the time to specifically place every clue. This isn't someone that killed this poor woman by chance. This killer thought about this crime. They took into consideration every detail about this murder. There's nothing else for us to look at here. We just have to find this deviant. We only have one other place that we can search, where that trinket by the tree leads us. Let's head to the Bomba Club. And Rusty is already in the car waiting for us.
The werewolf?
For my money, a copycat.
We can't rule it out. We need to work the evidence.
You'd love that, wouldn't you? A big head to hang on your wall. The caller of the decade. You've been working evidence on BD case for 6 months and got nicks.
There's a difference, Rusty.
Oh, yeah?
I just started working it today.
Okay, oddshot. What's more likely? The werewolf comes back around, leaving us a note on a corpse?
He clearly has a thing for power. Power over women. Why not power over the police department as well?
Let me finish, Phelps. A guy opens his mouth again after 6 months of stewing. Or some opportunist who's been reading about the BD figures, he'll rip off the MO and get himself a freebie.
That's not totally fantastical.
You know, the Examiner and the Daily News might be good at coming up with monikers, but they're terrible for police work. There's a reason we didn't get the son of a bitch after the short murder. It was them, locusts.
Where do you think the werewolf killer is now?
Dead by his own hand, stationed somewhere else with the armed forces. San Quentin, another town, another country, who knows? So, Phelps, I understand you want to turn this into a big case, but it doesn't work like that, all right? A case will come and find you. Can't make it something it ain't, understand?
So you don't think the werewolf has continued to operate in the Los Angeles area?
No chance. We would have found him.
Cole seemed pretty cocky, but with Cole's track record, it's not unjustified. We arrive at the Bomba Club. We walk in, and we'll talk to the bartender.
Gentlemen, what can I get you?
Phelps and Galloway, LAPD. Were you working here last night?
Yes. How can I help, officer?
You can start with your name.
Garrett Mason.
You're the regular bartender on nights?
I'm a temporary barman. I work for an agency. I fill in at bars across town.
Do you remember a woman who came in here last night? 5'7", about 110 pounds, blonde hair, about 40 years of age.
You mean Celine Henry?
Yes. Do you know anything about her?
I don't. But the owner, Mr. McCall, serves her most nights. Would you like to speak to him?
I would.
He sits at the back of the club. Wears a hibiscus. You can't miss him. Is there anything else?
Fire away, Phelps. I'll stay here. I'm a little parched. Pour me 3 fingers of rye.
And Rusty is having a drink while we do the actual police work.
I got a call back for that Universal Chorus line.
Where's that goddamn waitress?
Detective Phelps, LAPD. We're investigating the murder of Celine Henry. Do you know her?
Celine? House officer.
Christ.
That's the spirit.
Sure I know her. She and I and Jacob, her husband, we go way back.
She was here last night?
Sure, she's a regular. Celine was a lovely woman.
We'll ask Mr. McCall what was Celine's night like.
Was Mrs. Henry here with anyone last night?
Not at first. Celine already had quite a head start.
But she attracted attention?
Certainly. A few gentlemen became very enamored with her and her stories. One guy in particular.
He's looking Cole in the eye, and he's relaxed. So let's play good cop.
You know him?
No. He's been in a couple of times.
Did they leave together?
Yes. At around 11. If it helps, I made the guy's license plate.
I think this could be a great help, sir. Thank you.
The license plate is 2B8899. Let's ask him about Celine's ring, because at the crime scene we saw that a piece of jewelry was roughly removed from her finger.
Mrs. Henry appeared to be missing a ring, torn from her finger, but not her wedding finger.
Celine always wore a red garnet ring on the large side. Larger than life, like Celine herself.
Did she have it a long time?
Sure. Since way back in her flying days.
Did her husband buy it for her?
No, it was before Jacob.
And if you notice how he delivered the last line, Mr. McCall was looking off to his right, and he hoped that we would just drop it. And now he's looking all around. His lips are in a straight line, and he's nervous. We don't have the proof to accuse him, so we'll have to play bad cop.
I think you know where the ring came from, and I think you're gonna tell me.
Okay, I bought it years ago. I carried a torch for Celine in those days. Guess I always have. Her old man never knew about it.
So he kept around the woman that he has had a longing for years, and he got her a ring. What if Mr. McCall took a chance, for the final time confessed his feelings, and she rejected him? Could we be sitting across from the killer? Let's ask him what he knows about Celine's husband.
If you're waiting for a free drink, it ain't coming.
And that was rude. I guess he was a little bit testy because we made him admit that he has been pining for Celine for a very long time.
You know the husband?
Sure I know Jacob. He was in the Corps. He met Celine on a furlough and married her when the war was finished. He put up with a load of shit.
Do you think he killed his wife?
No. No, not in my opinion.
But again, his eyes are casting off this side. He's gulping. I guess we have to play bad cop again.
So if it wasn't Jacob, then you probably let her out of here with the guy who killed her. How do you feel about that?
Stow the attitude, will ya? I tried to get onto Jacob. I rang him up. Asked him to come pick her up like usual. But he refused. And she picked some night to push him over the edge. I rang him back around 11:30, but got no answer.
Thanks, Mr. McCall. You've been a big help. One more thing. Would you have an address for Celine?
142 North Union Avenue. God knows I had to send her home in enough cabs to remember that.
We'll use the payphone to call R&I to track the car from the license plate Mr. McCall got.
I think he's a bit of a gangster.
Let's get out of here.
Hey, what's the hurry? My stool was just starting to warm up nicely.
Operator, give me R&I.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need a registered owner on a license plate, 2boy8899.
Yes, Detective. I'll need to contact the DMV. Shall I relay the details via KGPL?
Please. Thank you.
Let's head over to Celine Henry's home address.
You find the booze helps you get through a working day?
Sharpens my investigatory instincts, fellas.
A smart lawyer might use that to throw out anything you collect today.
A smart man might know it's unwise to stand between the patient and his medicine.
As long as you're not falling over, Rusty, I'll let it slide.
That's mighty kind of you, Phelps. You know, you picked the wrong job if a healthy thirst offends you, Cole.
We owe it to this city to do the best we can in this position. As homicide detectives, that responsibility is all the more serious.
Always the politician.
It's not political, it's practical. Maybe the men combing Hollywood Boulevard after the Elizabeth Short murder were more interested in sniffing out booze than the clues that would have led to her killer.
Yeah, well, if only you'd been there, choir boy. Betty Short would be alive, the Japs would have spared Pearl Harbor, our ancestors wouldn't have tasted the forbidden fruit.
Minor syntactical error, Detective Galloway. I never claimed to be able to prevent crimes. I only suggested a proficiency in solving them. Guess that's the drink slowing you down.
Oh my God, brother, oh brother. Worse than I could ever have imagined.
And these two are getting along like a cat and a puddle of water. I don't even know what that means. I guess they're getting along like, there's two things that don't usually get along. They're getting along like a house on fire? I don't know. They're getting along like Tom and Jerry. No. What up? These two are getting along like donuts and seafood. These two are getting along like clowns in your bedroom closet at night. These two are getting along like dogs and chocolate. Oh no. These two are getting along like popcorn in your gums. Oh my God. These two are getting along like a wad of toilet paper in the washing machine. These two are getting along like oil and water. I wanted to use that when I was actually writing the script, but I thought it was just too basic. But looking at all the other alternatives, yeah, I should have just went with that one. But anyway, we arrive at the Henry residence.
I'll try the back door. Wait here a second.
And someone has broken in to the home.
Side window's been jimmied. Looks like somebody's creeped the joint.
We walk in and we look to the left. There's a newspaper on the ground, and this newspaper is going to tell us what is happening in the world of LA Noire while Cole Phelps is solving cases.
You said I had to go back, Doctor.
The fires are cathartic. They allow you to confront your past.
You said the house would be empty.
Are you taking the medication I have prescribed?
You said the house would be empty. I heard them screaming.
Circumstances were unfortunate. My colleagues had made all the necessary arrangements.
You said the house would be empty. You're killing me.
The deaths were unfortunate, but you have dealt with death before. I want you to come to the clinic and we can deal with it.
You said the house would be empty. How can I find peace?
Okay, imagine you're sitting on a park bench and you hear that conversation. Oh my God, you hear that conversation coming from the phone booth, like right next to you or behind you. I would be scared. I'd be shivering my timbers. But back to seriousness. That is the friend of Courtney. The friend that Courtney sent to Dr. Fontaine. It looks like instead of treating Courtney's friend, Dr. Fontaine is putting even more weight onto Courtney's friend's shoulders. We'll put the newspaper down and look around the house. Let's go into the bedroom and we see a vanity. Let's first pick up the ring box.
Tiffany? The rest of the stuff is junk. Might explain the missing ring.
And oh my god, Mr. McCall had it bad. And I mean, he had it bad. A Tiffany ring? Back in the, like, when things were pristine? Oh my god. In the 30s, 40s? Oh my god, that was a house. You could buy a house. You could buy a whole home with what you could, with a Tiffany ring. With how much a Tiffany ring cost back then, you could have bought a whole home. But back to it. Let's look to the right and see a picture.
A regular Amelia Earhart in her day. The ring looks distinctive.
And Cole doesn't seem to connect the dots yet, but it's obvious that that ring is the ring that Mr. McCall gave Celine, and that Tiffany's box is where that ring usually rested during the night, or when Mrs. Henry needed to put her ring away safely. Interesting. There is a hairbrush here. So
I doubt it.
the hairbrush at the crime scene was really brought by the killer. These must be her goggles from her flying days. Let's walk into the kitchen and read the note on the fridge.
Celine and Jacob are obviously having problems. It speaks to motive.
Crime scene evidence still weighs against it being the husband, but Jacob could give us something to go on.
The note reads, if you sober up, you can find me at apartment 2 at 1050 Huntley Drive, telephone number MI 2221. Jacob.
One of my exes drank like this, you'd be feeling the back of my hand.
Call in burglary and get technical services out here. I'll talk to the neighbors.
Don't take all day about it, Phelps. I get nasty when I'm thirsty.
Rusty is a complete catch. Like, any woman would be lucky to have him.
Galloway, homicide, badge number 564. Requesting technical services for a suspected 459 at 142 North Union.
Burglar used the pry bar. Why did you kick the door in?
You think I'm gonna climb through a broken window in a $30 suit? You got another thing coming, Buster.
Size 9s. Above average for a lady.
Okay, damn, Cole. Why you gotta call Celine out like that? Why you gotta call certain people's feet out like that? But anyway, let's go outside and talk to the neighbors. We'll hop this little brick fence.
LAPD. Are you acquainted with Celine Henry, Miss?
Horgan. Jennifer Horgan. I've known Celine for more than 10 years. Our children grew up together. What's going on, officer?
Did you see Mrs. Henry go out last night?
Well, I'm no busybody, you understand, but Celine had been drinking, and she and poor, long-suffering Jacob had a terrible row. I think Jacob may have given her a black eye. He stormed out, and she went back inside.
Did he come back?
No. Celine was listening to music and shouting until she left around 10 p.m. She was very drunk to have been driving, but she is not the sort of person you can stop from doing something when her dander is up. What is this about, officer? Is Celine all right?
I'm afraid Mrs. Henry has been murdered, ma'am.
Murdered? Oh, my God. I'm afraid I need to go and sit down.
So by all accounts, Celine Henry's husband was the victim in their relationship, a victim to Celine's addiction. But last night, allegedly, he assaulted his wife. We have Jacob Henry's address, so let's go and talk to him about his wife.
Let's see what Jacob has to say for himself.
I don't think Jacob is our man, but we should see what he has to say.
Jacob Henry had a violent argument with his wife last night. He's looking more and more likely.
For my money, if the broad keeps the house looking like that, she's probably deserved it. The skipper says bring him in. We'll keep the hacks off our backs for a while.
Fine by me.
So it ain't the werewolf killer after all. Good to see you've come to your senses, Cole.
I always said work the evidence. I only stipulated a connection to the BD killer as an avenue of investigation we should leave open. And as far as I'm concerned, it still is.
Okay, Phelps, we go in hard. You follow my lead.
Wait, why do we have to go on hard and fast? I thought Rusty was the one that said that he didn't think it was the husband, so why do we have to go in hard and fast?
You Jacob Henry?
Yeah. Who's asking?
LAPD. You're under arrest for the murder of your wife, Celine Henry.
Murder? Celine?
Save the dramatics
Oh, my
for
God.
RKO, pal. You got bigger problems.
What the hell are you talking about? You come in here, you tell me that Celine is...
Take a seat, Mr.
That
Henry.
she's...
We're gonna have a look around, then we'll talk.
Jesus, I'm sorry.
I get even the slightest hint that you're a flight risk, pal.
Let's walk to the kitchen counter and we'll use an oat spy technique and shade in the area to see the message that was previously written.
He'll be back any moment. Just sit tight.
The oldest problem there is, what to do about the old lady.
The message reads, "Thank you for the offer. I need you to do something about my wife." Walking into Jacob Henry's bedroom, we'll go to the suitcase on the bed.
Size 11s.
Size 11 shoes. We know that the murderer wore a size 8. Now let's interrogate Mr. Henry and ask him what could his wife have been doing before she was murdered.
So who could have killed Celine? Where did she go last night, Jacob?
A bar, I suppose. Look, I don't know.
And he seems straight, but we know from Mr. McCall that Jacob didn't want to pick up his wife.
You know where she went, Jacob. You're lying. Why would I help you if you keep lying to me?
Look, I'm telling you, I don't know.
We know she went to the Bomba Club.
The bartender there,
He calls me if things are getting out of hand, and I go and I bring her home. He called me last night. I said no. Phone rang a couple more times after that. I ignored it. I'm gonna have to live with that.
Now let's ask him about the last time he had contact with his wife.
When did you last see your wife, Mr. Henry?
Last night. I went to see her. We talked. Things got a little out of hand. I left.
And we know that this is true due to Mrs. Horgan's testimony. Things devolved into violence and he left. And then soon after, Mrs. Henry left too.
You don't remember what time you last saw your wife alive?
Look, I'm sorry. I left. Maybe 9 p.m. Might have been a little later, but right around 9.
Now let's ask him if he had any motive for murdering his wife.
Why did you kill her, Jacob? Things will go better if you come clean about it.
That's a lousy thing to say. I never gave up on my wife.
But that's a lie. We know from the note on the kitchen counter that he was calling somebody about handling his wife. So let's accuse him.
I don't believe you, Jacob. I think you didn't have the guts to do it yourself, so you had someone else do it.
You want to back that up with something, Big Mouth? Huh?
The note by the phone suggests you meant her harm.
You want the truth? Truth is, I was sick to death of her. I was trying to have her committed.
We're still going to need you to come downtown, Mr. Henry.
We can get this all down on paper, Jacob. How you got fed up with your wife and how you figured killing her would bury all your troubles.
Kill my own wife?
She was a lush and a tramp, and you just couldn't stand it anymore.
Shut your goddamn mouth.
So now you're going to tell me you loved her? Ah, the DA goes all gooey over remorse, Jacob.
And Rusty goes down. And I can't say he doesn't deserve it. He did. But it looks like we're in a fight now. And I let him get a few good hits in because I forgot what buttons were the buttons to fight.
Call it in and get a squad car dispatched. And check for messages. I'll keep old Slugger here company.
Now that that's settled, let's call dispatch.
Operator, give me dispatch.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need a patrol unit to transport a suspect back to Central.
Certainly, Detective. You have a message from the coroner. Do you wish to be put through?
Yes, ma'am.
Carruthers,
It's Phelps.
I've completed the autopsy. Several wounds to the head from a blunt metal instrument. Closest match would be a socket wrench handle.
So the cause of death was the blunt...
No, the blows to the head surprisingly were not fatal. Death was from hemorrhage and shock from the fractured ribs and multiple injuries caused by the stomping.
Anything else?
He's some kind of sex fiend. The tissues of the anus were bruised about 1/8 of an inch, but no trace of semen in the anus, vagina, or stomach.
Thanks, Doc. Operator, give me R&I. Any word on an owner for that vehicle? License was 2boy8899.
Yes, Detective. The plate belongs to a brown 1936 Pontiac. Registered owner is one Alonzo Mendez of 402 South Fremont Street, apartment 16.
Thanks. Any other messages?
One, Detective. From Captain Donnelly. He wants any and all suspects returned to Central. Interviews to be set up immediately.
Got it. We're coming in. Carruthers said she took a real pounding.
Maybe if he had been a little firmer in the beginning, he wouldn't be in this situation now.
I imagine that Neanderthal routine is a big hit with the ladies, Galloway.
Women love me, Phelps. I have no complexity. They know exactly what they're gonna get.
So Mrs. Henry was not only physically assaulted, but sexually as well. We heard from dispatch that the captain wants us back, and he wants every suspect interviewed immediately. Let's get back to Central.
We have a firm lead, Captain.
Are you questioning my judgment, Cole Phelps?
No, sir.
Good. I thought not. Jacob Henry is a sub-sister pushed around by his wife. I think with the right kind of persuasion, he might be prepared to seek absolution. Are you prepared to show him the error of his ways, young Phelps?
I don't think he's our man. Galloway agrees with me.
Don't drag me into this.
Rusty is a practical policeman. A bird in hand is always worth two in the bush. Let's liberate a confession from poor Jacob, and the public will sleep easier tonight. Run along now, Phelps. I've warmed them up nicely for you.
It seems like Captain Donnelly wants a murderer, even if there's no evidence to back it up. He just wants a confession, even if that confession comes from an innocent person.
Doesn't look good, Jacob. You're in a big jam here. You lie to me, and I can't help you out. Do you understand me?
Yes.
Let's ask him if he has any access to a socket wrench.
What do you do for work, Jacob?
I'm a mechanic. Engines, differentials, transmissions, that kind of stuff.
So you have access to tools?
Yes, I do.
Your wife was brutally beaten with a socket wrench handle, then stomped to death. How do you think that looks, Jacob?
I was home in bed.
So this is one of the interrogation questions where we're not proving that he lied about anything he said previously. We're refuting what he said when we accused him.
You're full of shit, Jacob. The truth is you hated that bitch. You followed her and dragged her into the car and then took her out to the moors. She woke up and you smashed her face in with a socket wrench.
No.
And then you stomped her. You stomped her because she's a drunken whore and she treated you like shit. You stomped her for all the years you had to take it. You stomped her because you are such a weak fucking sister, Jacob, and you wanted to erase all memory of it. Go on. Try to deny it.
I was at home. I should have gone to her at the bar, but I didn't. You can't prove I wasn't home.
That he in fact was not home. So we're going to be using the alibi Mr. McCall gave us.
I can. The bar owner, McCall, gave you up. He called your house right at the time that someone was smashing Celine's skull in and got no answer. If we find that socket wrench, you're gonna fry. Get it off your chest. Tell me you killed her.
I killed her, all right. I killed her dreams. She was an aviator, famous in her day, flying around up there like a bird. But she never wanted to come back down. You know, my pop was a sod farmer, dirt poor. I joined the Corps, trained to be a mechanic. I did better than my father did. I worked hard for it. It's all you can ask of a man. But Celine, she never wanted to come down from the clouds. She wanted everything I couldn't give her. All I had was security. That was never going to be enough.
Let's ask him if he has any knowledge on what text means. Text was written on Celine's body.
You did it. Everything points to you. What does text mean, Jacob?
I don't know what you're talking about.
And he genuinely looks confused. We'll good cop him.
I need a reason to believe you, Jacob.
You want a confession? That's what you want?
That's exactly what we want.
Seems to me there are two types of marriages. First, where the Couple love each other equally and everything's roses. And then there's the other, where one person loves the other more than life itself and always puts them first. Chumps like me, who love them no matter what, no matter how badly they behave. That's it. That's my confession. I love my wife. And I'll take any test you got to prove it.
And Captain Donnelly's not going to be happy about this, but it's looking more and more like Mr. Henry is not the murderer. Let's ask Mr. Henry about the deterioration of his marriage.
Your marriage was over. You took her in and she threw it back in your face. You didn't go over there to hurt her. It just got out of hand.
It's not how it was.
But we know that it did get out of hand. And he did give Celine a black eye from Mrs. Horgan's testimony.
You're lying, Jacob. It was falling apart and things got violent.
I'm not lying. I'm telling you how it was.
Jenny Horgan says you blackened her eye.
It's all right, Jacob. The DA will understand. In your shoes, I would have done exactly the same thing.
I hit her, all right? I'm not proud of it, but she was coming at me with a frying pan. What would you do? Took it for years, but sometimes a man can only take so much.
And that tells a more rounded story. Now let's ask him about this missing ring.
Why did you break into your wife's house, Jacob? Why steal the ring?
What? What are you talking about? I've got a key. Why would I need to break in?
We know why he would want to break in to cover his tracks. Because the ring that was torn from Celine's finger was from a previous lover. That previous lover being Mr. McCall. But Mr. McCall still believed that Jacob was in the dark about the true sender of the ring.
Please believe me, I didn't kill my wife.
And Jacob's not coming at us from a place of anger. He's coming at this from, how could you believe I did this to my wife? More like he could never have killed his wife because he already felt guilty about killing a part of her, killing the aviator in her.
You took the ring because you found out who gave it to her.
What are you talking about?
Her prized garnet ring, given to her by her old boyfriend, Dick McCall.
I never knew that. I lived with that woman for 3 years and I never knew that. Well, in that case, I think you should be talking to Dick McCall.
We'll do the detective work, lunkhead. Just answer the questions.
I'll see what I can do for you, Jacob. But I'm not promising. It still looks bad for you.
Phelps, you failed me, son.
We have another lead, Captain. This guy Mendez could be our man.
I hope so, Phelps. I really hope so. I'm deeply disturbed by your style of police work.
We can still pull down a conviction for the skipper if we chase down this Mendez guy.
Let's head to Mendez's address.
Alonzo Mendez. Sound like a man who moonlights as the werewolf?
Don't sound like a man I'd let my daughter anywhere near.
You've got a daughter.
Spend enough time drinking, Cole, you'll find yourself with any number of things you don't want when you're sober.
So that's why you never sober up.
Exactly.
And oh my god, Rusty really did not just say he does not want his, you know, that's Rusty for you. That's Rusty for you. There ain't changing Rusty. Wow. First, pissed this guy. and he's making himself to be unforgettable. And we arrive at Mendez's address. We'll walk up and look to the right.
Mendez, apartment 16.
Let's head in, and before we head up the stairs, let's look to the left and see which floor Mendez's apartment is on.
Here, the apartment's up on the top floor.
Now that we know what floor he's on, we'll rush up the stairs.
Don't bother knocking, just kick the door in. Take a look around and see what you can find.
Let's head down the hall and look to the last door on the left. Right by the bed is a shoe.
We gotta get these to Ray. Size 8s could help place Mendez at the scene.
And here is a bloody box next to an open window. Let's take a look inside, and there are two things for us to investigate.
Carruthers could match the color and brand of the body. Consistent with Celine's injuries, and the blood can be typed.
Is this guy the murderer? From the crime scene, it just seemed like this guy was calculated and smart. He took his time. He planned out this murder. He even planned to bring a brush, put together Celine's hair for the police to find her. You're telling me that this suspect planned out everything, but didn't plan out where he was going to hide the evidence? He leaves it in plain view in his apartment. We'll leave this box alone.
We have the murder weapon. We better get Pinker down here.
Why keep it? Why not throw it away?
Think these clowns are geniuses? Thank your stars you caught a break. Captain Donald will begin to like you.
Hey, what gives? LAPD, you're under arrest.
Do not lose that son of a bitch. I'll go get our wheels.
Mendez, stop right there!
And Mendez is off running. And why didn't they wait until they were closer to Mendez to, confront him?
You don't need to do this, Alonzo!
It doesn't make much sense, but we'll roll with it. So we'll trace Mendez across these rooftops, and we'll slide down this pole, and we see Mendez getting into a vehicle. And a stroke of luck at the same time, Rusty pulls around with the cop car, and we chase him on wheels.
Hit him! Clean this asshole off the road! I got an idea. Get him next to my window, Cole. Keep me alongside his vehicle, and I'll stop the son of a bitch. Hit him, Cole! Spin him out! I'll try to shoot out his tires. Wish me luck.
You're under arrest for the murder of Celine Henry.
I ain't saying a goddamn thing.
You did a grand job, lads. Phelps, that's quite a way to acquit yourself in your first outing as a homicide investigator. It seems the city has a new and vengeful guardian. Considering the evidence against your suspect and the thoroughness with which a report was compiled, I foresee a safe passage through the courts, and the DA agrees with me. Brutality on a scale such as this deserves retribution. The people and the press of this city demand it.
The case notes read, Jacob Henry is left to mourn while Mendez waits in lockup for a visit from the DA. This is our first case in the homicide desk, and it's just not making sense. Mendez ran for it, yes, but there have been studies that examine the flight or fight response when civilians are dealing with police, dealing with being confronted by police, whether they're guilty or not. And I found that the presence of police, the perception that civilians have about police, makes people either be very docile in the face of authority, or run, or decide to fight. So him running doesn't make me believe he's guilty. And we saw in Central that Captain Donnelly didn't care if Jacob Henry was the murderer. He wanted a confession. He wanted something to shut the news hounds up with. Are we just accepting that Mendez is the murderer for the sake of public perception? Or did he really do it? As we talked about earlier, at the crime scene, through footprints, this killer wasn't in any rush. He knew what he wanted to do. He was precise about it. He left what he wanted to leave at the crime scene. Did he leave that lighter from the Bomber Club because he wanted to be caught? If he wanted to be caught, then why leave these mysterious writings on the body? Why leave her purse? And why does Celine Henry have the same shade of lipstick that Mendez had in his apartment? This just doesn't make sense. He planned the murder through and through, that he even brought a brush to make sure that Celine Henry was presented the way he wanted. Yes, he left that brush there, but planned to bring a brush, but he didn't plan on where he was going to dispose of the evidence. When all leads seemed like they were about to be dried up, when we didn't have much to go on next, this was our last shot. We magically happen upon a box of evidence next to an open window. It doesn't make sense. Something's not right. But we just started at the homicide desk, and we have a lot to prove, a lot of cases to solve, and maybe this will eventually make sense. Or maybe, like in the beginning of the game, this is the case that gnaws at our guts and eats away at our marriage and keeps us up at night. Maybe. But that is it for me. I am Dusty Fines, and I am so glad to be here with you guys, and we have made it to the homicide desk. And I don't think that this is everything that Cole was imagining. it would be. We saw from how Captain Donnelly handed a drink to Rusty instead of Cole in his face when he was bypassed, even though Cole did most of the work. He's a rookie, like this is his first case, so Rusty has been at this desk a lot longer. So we are in for one wild ride, and we are just about halfway through the game, and I am so excited to be playing this game with you guys. I'm thinking about the next game that we are going to be playing. I want to have videos like this where it's more of telling the story of the game, and then also have like let's play games. Like I know that Mafia: The Old Country is coming out pretty soon, so I was thinking like my first playthrough of the game on this channel would just be like a let's play, and we experience the story together and go through the whole ride together, and then later on I would do a story like this with the Mafia series. But it has been a great time just sitting here and experiencing this case with you, experience this story with you, and I hope you subscribe to ride this journey along with us, and I am just thankful that you're even here. But this is it for Desi Finds. I am your gracious host, and I hope to see you soon in the next video. Desi Finds, signing off. Bye!